FQwentuhan. This is Rose Fausto, your FQ mom. As you may notice from my voice, I'm a little bit under the weather today. And you know how it is when one gets sick at home, in school, or in the office, another one gets sick, and another one. It's because the virus is contagious. And you know what else is contagious? Behavior. In today's episode, we will talk about a very interesting experiment done by Dan Ariely and his colleagues. Here's Jillian to tell us more about it.
The researchers gave the students from Carnegie Mellon University a series of math problems, $10 cash, and a sheet to tally the number of problems they could solve in 5 minutes. The first group, the students submitted their answer sheets to a proctor who tallied their correct answers and instructed them to keep 50 cents for each correct answer and return the balance of the $10. We will call this group the control group as there was no opportunity to cheat. In the second group, the students were not monitored. They were asked to tally their own scores, then shred their tally sheets and pay themselves 50 cents for each correct answer. Let's call this group the unmonitored group where cheating was possible. I'm sure most of you would know the results of this. There was a 71% increase in the average number of correct answers reported by the unmonitored students, which shows that cheating greatly increased. Take note that the participants were randomly chosen, so for sure it wasn't a matter of Group 2 being more intelligent than Group 1. This increase in cheating agrees with a common belief that the incidence of dishonesty and other misbehavior is correlated to the chances of getting caught. This is called SMORC, which stands for Simple Model of Rational Crime. It means a cost-benefit approach to committing crime where people weigh the probability and magnitude of the gain versus the probability and magnitude of the punishment when getting caught. However, dishonesty and other misbehaviors are not as simple as this. As mentioned previously, humans are not always rational. Let's see the rest of the experiment to understand the other factors that affect our behavior. For the third group, the conditions were similar to Group 2, unmonitored, but they hired an actor dressed in plain white t-shirt and looked like a Carnegie Mellon University student. After 60 seconds into the 5 minutes allotted time to solve the problem, he stood up and said, "I solved everything, my envelope is empty," meaning he already took the $10, a claim that he solved all 20 items in 60 seconds. So what should I do with it? The proctor said he was free to go. Let's call this group the unmonitored with insider influencer. For the fourth group, the conditions were similar to Group 3, but instead of acting out the cheating, he asked the proctor in a loud voice, "Given these instructions, can I just say that I solved everything and walk away with all the cash? Is this okay?" So the proctor said you can do whatever you want. Let's call this group the unmonitored with influencer pointing out cheating. For the fifth group, the actor wore a University of Pittsburgh t-shirt. In Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, this is the arch rival of Carnegie Mellon University. They are the Ateneo LaSalle in that area. So the actor did the same he did in Group 3. He stood up to claim that he finished everything correctly in 60 seconds, something that was impossible to accomplish. Let's call the group unmonitored with outsider influencer. Here are the interesting results. In Group 3, 25% of the students followed suit, submitting and claiming their payment in a few seconds. In fact, the average number of correct answers was 114% higher than the control group, signifying that the cheating was even higher compared to Group 2. So there is more at play than the SMORC here. In Group 5, only 3.6% copied the actor's behavior. In fact, this group's average number of correct answers was the lowest among the 3 unmonitored groups. Signifying the least amount of cheating among them, the rival school's t-shirt served as an antidote to cheating to the participants despite 0 chances of getting caught and other negative consequences. Lastly, the result for Group 4, the average number of correct answers was just a little more than Group 5. This means that if the cheating is pointed out, we are reminded of our values and most of us will not cheat or at least temper the cheating, even if chances of getting caught is 0. To summarize the results, here's what we have. For the first group, when there was no chance of cheating, the average number of correct answers was 7. For the second group, the unmonitored group, when cheating was possible, the number of correct answers went up to 12. For the third group, when cheating was also possible and where there was an insider influencer, the cheating was the highest. This shows how we tend to follow bad behavior of a person we identify with. For the fourth group, where cheating was possible and with the actor pointing out the possibility of cheating, the number of correct answers was only 10, compared to 15 of group 3. It seems that when doing something wrong is pointed out, we tend to make our moral compass work, as this group had the lowest magnitude of cheating among all the unmonitored groups. Lastly, for group 5, where cheating was possible and brazenly acted out by an outsider, all the more we activate our moral compass. We probably say, "I'm not like you." I hope you learned from this experiment. Should you wish to read more about it, you may check out this experiment in the book entitled The Honest Truth About Dishonesty, written by Dan and Ariely.
Thanks, Jillian. So you see, it's not just sipon, ubo, and other viral infections that are contagious. Even behavior is. And you know what's interesting is that we are now one big global community. So the contagion is not limited to just the physical space. We see what we do. I mean, even if the person is on the other side of the globe. So we really have to be very careful about this. So what do we do with this? Maybe it's best to pause and reflect. Who is our community? Who do we identify with? Who do we have opposing values with? How do they affect us? And more importantly, how do we affect them? In the office, do you take home supplies freely in the wide view of everyone else? When you watch UAAP basketball games, do you curse at the opposing team? Do you flash a dirty finger? At home, how do you show your love and affection to the family members? Or are you the type who would always say, "Wala na naman akong pera"? You know, if you keep on doing that, it probably makes it acceptable for your children and the other family members that it's okay to always run out of money. And it's not. So let's be very careful, and let's always remember that in as much as we are affected and we affect other people with our bad behavior, so does good behavior. Let's amplify the good behavior. Let's do more of that. And here's Rose Fresfausto again, wishing you cheers to high FQ and good behavior.